Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So today we're going to take a journey back in time to a very important period right after the passing of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This era is known as the time of the Khalifah Ar-Rashidun, the rightly guided caliphs. They were called the rightly guided because these four caliphs didn't rule for power or fame. Their leadership carried the spirit of the Prophet ﷺ, and because of that, their time in leadership became a continuation of prophetic guidance, not through revelation but through their actions. So before we begin with the first Khalifah, we must first understand the Khilafah system, in which the word Khilafah means caliphate. It is established after the passing of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. It is ruled by a Khalifah, which means successor. They held temporal and sometimes a degree of spiritual authority. In summary, it is a kingdom-like system in which there's a king that rules the citizen. The king gives out a decree that the citizens must follow, but without the monarchy. The first Khalifah, the first Caliph, the first Khalifah, which is Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, ruled for 10 to 12 Hijrah, which is 2 years. He suppressed rebellion uprisings known as Rida, sometimes translated as apostasy. One of his first contributions was calming the Ummah after the passing of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. He also went to war with the apostasy, which is Rida wars, and also he compiled the Quran after hesitating, since the Prophet didn't order the Quran to be recorded. But after having many Hafiz martyred in the war, in fear of losing the Quran, he decided to record the Quran in fear of losing it. During his last illness, Abu Bakr was nursed by Aisha, and he was buried near the Prophet. Which brings us to the second Khalifah, which is the successor of Abu Bakr, which is Umar ibn al-Khattab. So Umar continued Abu Bakr's campaigns and won many wars, which opened the way for conquest of most of the Sasanian Empire and the eastern provinces of the Byzantine Empire, mainly Egypt, Syria, and Levant. The contributions that he made is that one of many, introduced many reforms and new institutions such as police, pension, courts, parliament, and many more. He inaugurated the Islamic Hijri calendar, which means he's the first one to make the Islamic Hijrah calendar. Unfortunately, he was assassinated by a Persian slave named Lu'lu in 23rd Hijrah. The third Khalifah, Uthman bin Affan, already in his mid-60s during his reign. Uthman made an official recension of the Quran, which basically means he revised back the Quran. Long story short, he tells the Muslims to burn the other versions of the Quran and compiled it into one book. He also introduced economic reforms, such as new coinage, which included the addition of Arabic. For example, Sasanian dirhams inscribed with Bismillah in it. He was murdered in 35th Hijrah by rebellious soldiers in his own house. Which brings us to the fourth Khalifah, the successor of Uthman ibn Affan, which is Ali bin Abi Talib. After the death of Uthman, Muawiyah, his cousin, wanted revenge for him, but Ali, the current Khalifah at that time, failed to comply. Due to that, it enraged Muawiyah and other Muslims. Hence, why Ali's reign was full of civil wars, which caused the expansion of Islam to be halted. He shifted the capital from Medina to Kufa. Many people considered it as controversial. Unfortunately, Ali met an end like his predecessors. He was murdered by an extremist group called the Kharijites or Kharijiyah in 40 Hijrah while he was offering prayer in congregations. So if you look at the Khalifah Ar-Rashidun timeline, from the first to the last of the four, Sayyidina Ali, Sayyidina Abu Bakr until Sayyidina Ali, we look at the age that they died, that they passed away. Sayyidina Abu Bakr passed away at age 63, and Sayyidina Umar passed away also at the age of 63, Uthman aged 82, and Sayyidina Ali aged 63, in which it reminds me of one of the hadith that was narrated by Abu Hurairah that the Prophet ﷺ said, "The ages of the people in my nation will be between 60 and 70, and few of them will exceed that." It is an amazing fact that the age of the Khalifah Ar-Rashidun aligns with the hadith that the Prophet ﷺ has said. So in summary, even though the time of the Khalifah Ar-Rashidun isn't that long, but the impacts that they gave towards the Islamic world is very big and meaningful. That is all for the summary regarding the Khalifah Ar-Rashidun. Until next time, wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.